question, what is your experience working with women of color? What is your experience working with Black women specifically, or Asian women? Ask them that experience. Okay. And then if you feel comfortable with their response, then, give it a try. I think the thing is with, most insurance, you can try out people. I think, but if it doesn't work, you don't have to continue seeing that person. Mm-hmm. Therapy is a very relational. You need it's like a relationship. So you need to be able to feel comfortable with the person you're talking to. Because the last thing you want to do is go to a therapist and then you don't tell them the things that you're dealing with, right? That's not helping you. It's not going to help you. So if you don't feel comfortable, let them know. And if they can't make the change, it's fine to part. And I tell my clients that anyone coming through my office, that's the first thing I say. This is relational. Let me know if things aren't working. I'll try. And if it doesn't work, let's think about who else you can see. And I don't take it personally at all because there are many of us out there, and, there's a chemistry that has to happen as well.
Sure. Absolutely. Thanks for that. Now, something else that kind of comes up frequently is how we deal with addressing mental health issues in the church. Mm-hmm. So, people growing up in the church, and so many times it's like people may not say it to your face, but it's like you're still being judged if you have to seek a mental health professional and, being judged in terms of somehow your faith is weak or you're not, you're lacking in faith if you have to see a mental health professional, but, you're still a spiritual person, or you're still, you're in the church. How do we deal with that?
Yeah. I think that some churches are coming around to understanding mental health and how they can support their parishioners, their congregation around it. I did a talk in my church in May. I did a talk last week with some clergy people, religious leaders, around understanding mental health and how they're supporting it in their congregation. And people were very open to it. So the first thing I would say is you can pray and you can see a therapist. And it doesn't make you less of a believer, and it doesn't weaken your faith. So you can do both. I think sometimes we grow up with this idea that prayer takes everything away. And the reality is prayer helps in your coping and with situations. And then there are also professionals who help you in addition to that, right? In addition. Right. So therapy can help bolster, add additional coping skills, help you reframe ways that you're thinking about situations, helping to give you the knowledge and expertise about understanding the things that you're dealing with. And prayer is a way that helps you cope through it. So I think you can have both. And I always tell people you have to have more than one tool in your toolbox. You can't come at everything with one screwdriver, right? Mm-hmm. You need those things in that toolbox. And so I think when we think about your emotional wellness, your mental health, you need more than one thing, because some days something is going to work really well, and then another day that same thing is not going to work. And so we don't just give up. We go to the next thing on our list. For people of color in particular, we know that music is key to our survival. Like, whether spirituals or gospel music, any of that music, people just thrive on that. Our spirituality is also a big part of who we are and what gives us purpose and what helps us maintain or deal with difficult situations. Those are kind of the two top things. For people of color is music and prayer. Mm-hmm. And then we're adding things to that. So how do we make sure we get in a physical release, through exercise and movement? But also, like, thinking back to the church, our ministries, right? Where are we giving back? We're volunteering or giving service to others. I think that's also a key part of how we as people of color really think about our world, and those are the things that make us feel whole. So really making sure that we're not, separating ourselves from the things that comfort us or provide support, but adding all those things into our toolbox.
Wow.
Of course,
excellent.
Yeah, I was going to ask a lot. Of course, church provides social connection. Mm-hmm. And with any mental health condition, often the illness wants to pull you away from your community, to isolate. And so I think what the church offers is also that social connection, that solidarity. So I think, having a faith and having spirituality is really key to coping with mental health conditions. And I think that also added therapy is another piece that you can add into that mix.
Excellent. Great. Thank you so very much for stopping by today. I so appreciate it. Unfortunately, I have got to get back to this packing. Oh, I'm going to need therapy myself, literally, just for, everything that I've kind of got going on right now, getting ready to pack up and move to a different state, in addition to, some other family things going on. And actually have seen a therapist previously, and it has definitely helped. So definitely not opposed to, going down that road again should the need arise. But I was just thinking a few minutes ago, just before you got here, about, it's like, oh, my goodness, I've got a lot of stuff going on in my life. And I think I'm handling okay. So maybe I need to ask some folks around me if they think I'm handling it okay. And maybe I need to go and talk to someone, about everything that's going on, just so that get that mental health checkup, like you mentioned, just to make sure I'm in a good place.
Right, and just like a touch-up, a checkup, a booster. I think that sometimes you think about going to see a therapist only when things aren't going well. But I think it's really helpful in thinking about, like, your change. This changes you. There's a positive thing you're looking forward to, but it can also bring up a lot of stuff. And so going to see a therapist, to talk about all this stuff may help to uncover and, help prepare you even better for that move and that transition. So I would always recommend therapy too for transitions. Like, it's really, really in that aspect. I mean, you don't have to wait for things to, like, fall apart. Really, therapy works best when we are proactive.
That makes sense. That makes total sense. Well, thank you so very much, and I most likely am going to take you up on that. That sounds like a plan. I need to put that on my calendar as well. Like I said, in the middle of these boxes. But thank you so very much. I'm definitely going to tell Pammy that you stopped by and we had an opportunity to chat. I thank you so very much for taking the time out to stop by for a little bit. Take care, and we'll be talking again, so definitely have to have you back so we can follow up on this conversation.
I love that opportunity. You take care.
Right. You do the same. Take care.
Okay,
all right.
Bye-bye.
Bye now.
And now, let's hear a word from Dr. Carolyn Stephens on the launch of the I Am a Black Woman, the Compendium, launching August 17th in Atlanta. Purchase your tickets at iAABW.ticketspice.com.
I want to say that this is about more than a book. It's about the celebration of life. It's about the celebration of freedom. It's about embracing yourself as a black woman and not being ashamed to be called a black woman, and embracing the beauty and the significance and the uniqueness of our culture. It doesn't mean that we don't embrace and love other cultures. We do, but we love ourselves just as much. And I believe that we want women from other cultures to read this book. We want you to understand what it's like for a black woman to be a black woman, what it's like for a black woman to navigate in a system that is ruled by white supremacy and white privilege, and what that feels like for us, so that we can have a level of cohesiveness between our European and Hispanic and Asian sisters. We want this book to liberate you, that when you read it, you find your story in one of those co-author stories and no longer live with the shame of that, but know that God has the power to rise you up from that you can overcome that obstacle, you can overcome that challenge and live a life of freedom and liberty. Is that we want all women to know that our story is your story. Our voice is your voice. No matter whether you're the sister who's the CEO or the executive, or you're just the sister who's out here every day trying to take care of your kids and maybe you're on minimum wage. I am you and you are me. And we don't need to keep fighting each other, but we need to embrace each other and we need to love each other, because at the end of the day, we're all black women and we all need each other.
Thank you for tuning in to this episode of Cast Iron Skillet Chronicles with your host, Jacqueline J. Enjoy this podcast? If so, get in on the conversation and invite your sister friends. Join our Facebook group, Cast Iron Skillet Chronicles. Leave a message, ask a question, or suggest topics for upcoming episodes. Until next time, remember, nothing changes unless you do. Stay safe, be well, and be blessed.